heart with a sweet one bliss. Someone flips me a bad body. Oh, another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full span, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.
Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Green Diamond Boxing, hosted by iBoxingHub. My name is Aisha, and every week on a Monday, I'll be interviewing someone from the boxing world, the fighters, the trainers, the promoters, and the managers. The aim of my show is to, of course, talk about boxing and discuss fights, but also to find out what learning we can take from those people that are chasing their dreams, motivating themselves to continue on this journey, and working hard to be the best version of themselves. The name Green Diamond was chosen for several reasons. Firstly, green due to its association with the Islamic faith, and secondly, diamonds because they symbolize how immense pressure can make something beautiful, and how similarly we can become the best version of ourselves through pressure, life tests, and pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zones. I would now like to introduce my first guest, MMA fighter and boxer, Marija Malenica. Welcome, Marija.
Hello, Aisha. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us as well. I'm really, really happy to have you. And you're my first ever guest. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm honored to be your first guest.
Oh, thanks. So I wanted to talk a bit about your journey, because like reading about what you've done, it's amazing how much you've actually achieved, and what you were doing, what you are doing now. So let's start right from the beginning. You're from Croatia. You were born and brought up there, and then you started MMA when you were 17. Is that right?
Actually, it was kickboxing and Muay Thai. I did a few fights in MMA, but my base was kickboxing.
Right. Okay. So that was in Croatia.
Yeah. So I started with 17 years old in Croatia with kickboxing because it was one of the local clubs, gyms to go to. And then after, I think, 8 years, I decided to leave the country and go to France and to the world just to look for the opportunities. And then it really
became... do that? Because you went to Paris first, didn't you? What was that first thing that made you go, I'm going to leave Croatia and go to Paris and start exploring other places? What was that thing that made you decide to do that?
Well, to be honest, my kickboxing at the time in Croatia was doing well, but I noticed there is not much to learn. I noticed if I want to go one step further, I need to challenge myself and go somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't know where to go, and I had an uncle, actually he still lives in Paris, so I was like, okay, let me go there and see what happens. So that's why it was Paris. It was accidentally.
Yeah. And then after that you went to Amsterdam on, you said, a coach trip. That must have been a bit scary, not knowing what there is in Amsterdam for you. How did you make that decision?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Up to this day, I'm like, I don't know who was that, but Paris was nice. Like, it was actually hard in Paris, so I learned a lot about myself because you had to learn the language, work. I had few fights in Muay Thai in Paris, but it was just too hard. And then I was like, okay, why not Amsterdam? That was the base of K1,
right?
Which I was doing, and then like. I didn't had nothing. I just Googled the night bus from Paris to Amsterdam, and I lent some money, like really, I don't know, I think 400 euros at the time. And yeah, and then I came to Amsterdam and I was like, okay, what now? And then I look for a gym. I find a hostel to start with, and then I got a job. And I was the most motivated at that time. So that was a good choice.
Yeah, and you did quite a few fights then out of that gym from Amsterdam, and you went quite a few different countries fighting with that gym. Is that right?
That gym gave me everything, to be honest, because I became 2 times world champion with them. Yes. So I was working first in a coffee shop in Amsterdam because, I had to do something. And then later I became a personal trainer and But the training was amazing, and I think they're one of the best gyms in Holland. So
Wow.
I was traveling a lot, I was fighting a lot. It was the best time, I think, of the life.
Wow, that's amazing. And so you're world champions. That was in K1 then, is that
Yeah, 2 times in K1 and once in Muay Thai.
in Muay Thai? And then you had European champions and national champions as well. What were they in?
Yeah. At the same time, I was doing amateur and professional because if you win amateurs, you have some, funds and stuff. So I was doing that for Croatia. And at the same time, I was fighting professionally without it's just without the head guard and equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more exciting. So
Wow.
I was busy fighting at that time. I think I had altogether like 150 kickboxing fights.
Wow, that's amazing. And then when did you decide to switch over from kickboxing to regular boxing? When did that happen?
That's interesting because I had a fight for the belt in K1 and I won that fight.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I was going through something in my head, which I still don't know even today. But then I realized from that fight that my boxing sucked. So I was like, okay, I need to change this. What do I do? And then altogether, like some life happened. So I went to Thailand. I left Amsterdam and I went 5 months to Thailand to learn boxing. And then I realized, okay, this is much harder, which I still believe today. And the competition is much harder. And, I always like to go the hard way, unfortunately. So I was like, okay, kickboxing is enough. Like, this is what's challenged me more now. And let's see how far I can go.
Yeah. Okay. So you started the regular proper boxing then? Is that after Thailand?
Yes, in Thailand actually, because I had my first professional fight while I was in Thailand. So my debut was in Singapore.
Okay, amazing. And then you were in Dublin for a while as well.
Yes, that was also amazing experience because when COVID happened, I was like, okay, what do I do now? And then I found Pete Taylor, Katie's Taylor dad.
Yeah.
I started to follow him on Instagram and I saw that he was doing some live sessions. And my sister was also living in Dublin at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
And I stayed there, I think 4 or 5 months. And I'm really thankful to him. He learned me a lot and it was really good camp.
Wow. Did you get to meet Katie as well? Did you get to train with her?
No, unfortunately, no, it didn't happen because she lives in States and at that time she wasn't there. So that didn't happen.
That's a shame because that would have been amazing.
No, I know.
What do you think about her fight coming up in Dublin?
Oh my God, that's so exciting. I wish I was there to see that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It's going to be, I think, the history fight. So
yeah,
I hope she gets it personally, but I respect Cameron so much. So it's going to be a good fight.
Oh, absolutely. Do you think that Katie might retire from boxing after this one? Do you think this might be her last one?
Well, people are talking about that, but I think the only person who knows that is her.
Yeah.
If I was her, I think I would retire because there is so much more in life, I think, than boxing. But who am I to speak in her name? So
yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's what most people are saying. But who knows? I mean, if she doesn't win, then maybe she might want to do another fight. But if she wins, I think it'd be more likely for her to retire if she does win because she'll be going out on a high then, won't she? So
she did more than enough, like.
Yeah, absolutely. She's done amazing.
Yeah.
I really hope I can be there to watch that, but let's see. Yeah. And so then you've also come to London and you've trained here, and that's where we met in the Brixton boxing gym when you trained under Bobby Mills. And you fought as well, which you then won your fight there. How was that? How was training in Brixton?
That was really amazing. And that was my last actually coach, because after Bobby, I actually retired. So I was happy to finish my London story there with Bobby and Connor, and I felt like home. They were really nice to me, and being there with Vivian and other girls, that was so nice. But I waited for this fight to happen like for 5 years.
Wow.
So I came to London to become a professional boxer. But I didn't know what's behind that. And, looking back, I'm not sure if I would go that way, because it's so hard, especially if you are not from UK and if you don't have a big following. You know yourself, like you need to invest, you need to make people buy the tickets, you need to work, you need to survive. So I think I just lost energy after 5 years.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can totally understand that. But I mean, you did so well in terms of your training and your fighting, and then obviously you left to go back to Croatia. If you had continued, how far do you think you might have wanted to see that journey of your actual boxing professional career?
That's interesting question, and I don't know. Like, I wish to know, but like, I don't know. Like, I had an engine. I think I was. I like to be on the front foot. I like to fight. There are girls that I think maybe are more experienced with technical part. I mean, it's a package with boxing, and everybody has something, some power, And I think mine was not quitting and just going and just loving it. I really loved it.
Yeah. And what was that thing that didn't make you quit? Because you've done so much, and you kind of just, as you said, you've taken the more difficult route. You always want to do things that are difficult. What makes you want to push yourself continuously more and more? What gives you that drive?
I also don't know. I think you need to be a bit crazy. Like, I was just curious, like a little girl. I was like, I think also Amsterdam and Paris taught me that everything is possible for everyone if you really want it. And I was just knocking. When I look back, I'm not sorry, because I know I gave it all. I knocked on every single door to ask, like, I don't know, if I found that somebody like is a manager or a coach. I changed 20 coaches in UK, which is also not normal. I would travel everywhere just to talk to somebody to give me. I was really hustling, and that actually helped me realize that now in a normal life, I'm capable. I remember I was training in Churchill's with Sam Mullins. He's also a really amazing friend and a coach. And we got me a fight, and my license was inactive. Because my last fight was in Singapore like years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And then I had to fight one time before I get that fight, if that makes sense. Anyway, I called many people, and I found myself a fight in Macedonia, in which I went alone and I paid it myself.
Oh, wow.
So I came to Macedonia, I had a fight. You need to pay for your opponent. I finish it and I go back to London. So that just showed me that I can do everything. But it was hard to, I don't want to say, I was never jealous of other boxers. But, like you spar with them and you're there. And you can do what they're doing. And everybody was getting the shot. And I wasn't. So, I really wanted to be a part of it so much that one day I was like, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah. No, wow. It's really, really interesting. So is that the thing that really made you retire from in the end then? Is it like it just got a bit all too much, and like you'd done everything that you wanted to do? Is that what made you then retire at the end?
I think so. Like at that time, I never thought that can happen. I never thought about quitting. Like I was really machine with asking, with fighting for it. But yeah, one day I was like, I think it's same like the battery. Like I just drained. And and then I had some family situation at home. So I
Right.
had to go back to Croatia. And then, I'm like, okay, I need to start living. I need to make my business, my life. Like, I'm going to be 35 now. I had to make peace with it. It was hard. I was like almost depressed, like for weeks,
Wow.
like, what I'm going to do now. You just wonder to ask, who are you? But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's all for a reason. I mean, I did a lot in kickboxing, and that I
Mhm.
forget also. The only
Wow.
thing I
Yeah.
didn't accomplish is boxing thing, but I guess it's life.
Yeah, no, but I mean, the memories that you've made throughout those years, you're fighting, the people that you've met, the things that you've learned. I mean, that must be amazing to think back as to how much you've accomplished throughout the time you have been fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why I'm not depressed at the moment. Because it's boxing. I always say boxing took away everything. Took away everything from me. I mean, when I say took away, like you cannot be with your family, you need to
Yeah.
miss things, you need to, be strict with diet, everything.
Mm.
But it gave me everything. So I
Yeah.
think it made me who I am. Who knows who I would be if it wasn't for that? Like.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What's your favorite memory of the whole time that you've been fighting? Is there something that stands out for you? What's the most special memory that you've got?
Well, I think it's in Amsterdam actually with K1 fight
Hmm.
because I was working in a coffee shop, like 8 9 hours every day, and I was struggling, but I was training hard. And then a coach told me like, "Oh, you're chosen. You're gonna fight in Dubai for the world title." And I was like, "What? I can't believe!" Like that was so rewarding from the sky, from the universe, from the God. Like I
Mm.
was like, I can't believe. So we went there, and I won the fight, and I even
Yeah.
got this little crown, like the
Yes.
queen of the yeah of the night, and it just showed me that hard work always gets rewarded.
Mm.
If it wasn't that, probably it would be something else. Like
Yeah.
so, I think that's my best memory.
Yeah. Wow. And do you think that like being in a sport that is obviously quite male dominated a lot of the time, do you think that that's something that pushes you more, or how does it feel being in a sport where there's quite a lot of men around? Mostly, there's not as many women, obviously, as there is men in this boxing sport.
Mhm. Well, many people ask me that question, but I personally never had any, I cannot say issues, or I didn't had any bad experiences, or, that I felt. I mean, you have many different people, and of course, you see sometimes that yeah, people are different. But with guys, like I was always hardworking, and then once I changed many gyms, and for me it was also challenging every time. You need to go to the new gym, and it's a
Mm.
bit. I'm social, but I'm also a bit shy. But then after a while, they see that you are just hustling, so they start to respect you. They see you sparring, they see you working hard. You even
Yeah.
sometimes work more hard than them. So
Mm.
I think it's good also for them to see that a woman can also, be hardworking.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And we've seen some amazing
But
female boxers.
yeah, but I think still women are underpaid. Like guys get so much money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very true. Very true. Something that needs to be worked on for sure. So yeah, so now you're doing teaching. Is that right? You've got your own training camp that you're doing. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, as I was boxing in London, I was working as a coach and a PT. That also like gave me a big picture of what I can do, and a lot of my clients became my friends, and they were supporting my fights, which is very nice. And then I started to think about, okay, what's the best? I wanted to go to Croatia as much as possible because my family is there. And then I was like, okay, let me get this concept, like doing fitness boxing camps while visiting Croatia. And I was like, wow, this is such a good idea. So with the help of my boss from Fight City Gym, we made the first camp, and it was really nice. So people, they come to Croatia for a week on this island, and then I train them twice a day. And in the meantime, we go to excursions, we do hiking, kayaks, and it's just a really different experience. So this is something that I want to do from now on.
It sounds amazing. I've seen your videos and pictures on Instagram. And I actually went to a similar camp in Thailand when I was doing Muay Thai. And it was so much fun because you do training like twice a week. And like, so it's 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, 1 hour PT if you want to. And then there's so much like bonding between the people that are in the camp as well, because you train together, then you go out for lunch, and you go out for excursions, and it's just so much fun. It's like no other, retreat or holiday that you'd go on. So I think it sounds amazing. And you've got one coming up now in Mexico, is that right?
Yes, because you see, again, boxing. I always say boxing gave me everything, because with boxing, I met a friend in Thailand. She's French, and she lives now in Mexico. So she was like, okay, let's make a retreat here. I'm like, oh my God, I want to go to Mexico, especially during winter in Europe. So we prepared a boxing camp in Mexico. So it's happening now in February. And and then on the other side, I have a little house on top of the mountain in Croatia. So together with my dad, I'm renovating that house, and I want to make nature like boxing retreats on top of the hill. Like literally, there is nobody around.
Wow.
So I think it's good from time to time just to switch off for a week. So I think, bringing people back to nature and health, it's perfect combination.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So if someone was to sign up for your retreat in Mexico, what can they expect to happen at the retreat? Can you just kind of lay out what would happen and what they can expect on the retreat?
Of course. So they can expect adventure and meeting new people. Mostly people come alone. You can come with a friend, but I even encourage more to come solo. And because, you share a house with people, you eat together, you don't need to be as fit, and you don't need to think about anything as soon as you land, because we have everything prepared for you. So it's hard training twice a day, but in between, we always do something like each day, or we go to different places, we do some adventure stuff, and, we eat, we hike, we do kayaks, and after 7 days, like, you feel charged again. Tired, of course be tired, but you are going home and you're thinking like, okay, this was a really good 7 days. So
yeah, great. So that's all fitness levels then, I guess. All fitness levels.
All fitness levels, like from beginners to intermediate, like,
Great. That sounds absolutely amazing. So how can people find out more about this and about you and your journey? How can they connect with you?
Well, I use Instagram as my main platform. So I do a lot of videos there about Mexico. And then if somebody want to know more, they can DM me. And then normally we have a call, and then I send them the page explaining like day-to-day activities. And I think more or less that's it.
Right. So your Instagram handle is? Your
So,
Instagram
sorry,
handle? Your Instagram handle is
my
Maria.
Instagram account. Maria dot, and then I don't know how you say it in English. The the one that is down.
Underscore.
Maria dot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Malenica, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. We'll also tag you as well in this video so people can join in and connect with you. So lastly, I wanted to ask you one piece of advice that you would give to people who are looking to either chase their dreams, become fitter, but they're struggling with the motivation to do so. What kind of advice would you give to somebody?
It's very hard if they're struggling with motivation, but they just need to go for it. They need to be like, I would say, go-getter. Like, you just need to knock. You just need to knock on the doors. But you need to believe that one will definitely say yes. So I would just tell them to keep pushing, keep going every day, like, and don't take no personally. That's also very important, like if it happens that somebody says no, you just say, okay, you in your head you say thank you, goodbye, but in my head I will say you're gonna regret this later, like, because I'm a good chance. So like, love yourself, like, have faith it's gonna happen, and just keep hustling, because the sky sees everything and it will happen. And put yourself with people who are hustlers also, like, you need to, you need to have confidence, you need to go there, you need to, like, if she can do it, why I wouldn't, like.
No, absolutely. So just never give up, basically. Just keep going.
Yeah, keep going until one day your battery is off, like mine. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Maria, it's been absolutely lovely having you. Thank you so much for your time and for your inspiration as well. And I wish you all the best in your retreats. Maybe one day I might come and join you as well. That would be lovely.
I really hope so.
I really hope so as well.
Thank you so much.
Really lovely. No problem. Thank you so much. And take care, and I'll catch up with you soon.
It's another band. All the Muslim cars now with your baggy up. Light up my card with a sweet one, please. Someone flicks me a baggy up. Say, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full strand, yeah. It's another one. It's another one, yeah.